back. Welcome back. We're back here again in Men's Truth. Another week, successful week. We starting out, on a high. This whole week has been running on a high of getting to this point. But we at episode 5, man. It feels like we've been doing it for
Good God.
Feel like 100, don't
I think we veterans, bro.
Not yet. Got to bring it back down to reality.
All right.
Hey, we learning, we're growing each week, man. We're finding out different ways to push this out to people. If it's not through word of mouth, it's through social media, man. And
that's been fun.
The responses, man. Once again, thank you, all the supporters out there. The responses have been amazing,
amazing. And I tell you what, man, we're so grateful that, not only people that we do know have been locked in and engaged, we've been meeting new people along the way.
New people every day.
And people have, I'm from our short videos to the actual episodes, people are commenting, people are in our inboxes, and they want to know more. Mm-hmm. And guess what, bro? We got more. and it takes us into what we call, how was your win of the week? How was your win of the day? And I'll start right here because I know you got a good one. I feel it, man. I'll start with this win right here. My win is this. We are over 100 subscribers on YouTube, man. Let's go. And I'm going to put it out there, man. 75K. We headed to you. Mm-hmm. That's the goal. And by the end of this year, man, I believe, man, we can achieve that. And I'm calling it out. Spread the word, man. If you believe in us, like we believe in us, and you see the work that we're putting in, share. Put it out there. I believe this is not just for men, but this is also for wives. Ooh. This is also for future wives. Ooh. This is also for daughters. Ooh. This is also for sons, man.
Big old sons.
So we have been getting such a great response, man. And wait a minute, hold on, I'm sorry. This is also for the mothers. The mothers that are really trying to push their sons to being better men. And
absolutely.
We just so happen, we're creating like what we call our safe space. But along with this safe space, it's a brotherhood. And within this brotherhood, man, we're going to deal with these mental issues that we've been throwing on the back burner, these childhood issues and traumas that we've been throwing on the back burner. And I'm just crazy enough to believe, man, that when the healing happens is when you bring it to the forefront.
Absolutely.
And that's how we're going to heal this thing, man. One nation under God, right? But we're going to push everything to the front, and we're going to throw all these things in the fire to be burned, man. We're going to be great by it. I go on my rant. I'm sorry. I don't want to get too far away. But how was your win, bro?
Hey, I'm going to jump on your back on that, and I'm going to add on to it. So I've been a witness almost daily for strangers coming up and telling me their testimonies. I don't know them. I've been prayed on in the gym, been prayed on at Starbucks.
Hey, man, people walking up to you like, you know what? I see you on YouTube. Man. Can I pray with you? No. But we can talk.
We can talk. Your hands clean.
That point. Yeah.
But I was witness to the purpose of our job here. I asked God, why he bring me back home and hit the reset button. And I found out this week while watching my big brother here go through some mental struggles this week, and we prayed for each other.
Yeah.
And he was worried about something big on his heart. Yeah. And it's just one example. He reached out to his big bro.
Yeah.
And I got to sit there and I got to hear them discuss their concerns, their misses for each other. Like I discussed my misses for my twin, my big bro, my best friends and stuff out there.
Why are you trying to get me emotional, man?
I ain't, but I'm just touching on it. But it was key because.
But it's true.
It's good how we don't think how God's hand is over us, is watching us. So I sat there and I watched them go back and forth, and they told their concerns without it being conflict. They told their concerns without it being like, all right, I hear you, but to tell each other, I love you, bro. I miss you. I'm there for you. Whatever you need, don't ever think that I'm not there for you. And to turn around and say, you know what, don't let a day go by without telling your brother, you know, you there for him, you love him, you miss him.
Absolutely, man.
And that's the purpose of men's truth is just get it out there, being bold, being vulnerable, and be able to tell each other you love them, you support them, you got their back. And it carried on. I was laughing when it was over with because I was like, I'm always making jokes. I was like, just tell them you miss them. And they busted out laughing. And then after that, God worked immediately within 5 minutes. He started answering my prayers.
Woo!
And I thought it was crazy.
Hey, can I get a scripture with that? Where two or more gather together, that he's in the midst. You just so happen to be in the midst. And then after we finished the call, me and you were in the midst, and God said, all right, bam, let me go see about my other
5 minutes.
Hey, man, God is good, man. You know, it's the momentary things, man. We sometimes have to slow down, man, and take in those moments.
Take in.
Man, we want God to answer big, huge, magnificent things, but we take for granted the simple things, the delicate things, those things that he's concerned about. He's concerned about the matters of our heart.
Exactly.
I didn't mean to interrupt you. Go ahead.
But he answered my prayers within 5 minutes. I said, no, this got to be crazy.
Yeah.
5 minutes from the phone call. 30 minutes later, another prayer was answered.
Oh, man,
I said, you got to be crazy.
Hey, man.
It drove me to my knees. I got a phone call from one of my close friends that said, I need you. And I started talking about how I missed, that person being around, and I was there for him. And they shared with me their testimony. And then it started working again. And about 30 minutes later, I answered his prayers.
Man.
Through what was told to me. Now I said, I'm sitting back like this. Is like,
It's contagious,
ain't no way.
man. It's contagious,
Ain't no
bro.
way. It's like bam, bam, bam,
It's
bam, bam.
contagious, bro.
Then I woke up in the morning and I looked at my phone and I got another blessing.
Wow.
And then I followed up with another blessing.
Yeah.
So I said, I can't take all this by myself.
Yeah.
So I shared my blessing.
Yeah, he did. Let's go.
I shared my blessing. So no matter what you think is not working, sit back for a second, be patient.
Ooh.
I'm
That's
a person.
a word right there, boy. You just preached a whole message
word
in
right
2
there?
minutes.
This right there?
That's a word.
Because everybody know me. I'm a go getter.
Yeah.
I'm driven. I'm gonna get up and do it. And once my wheels is turning,
Yes.
I can't slow down sometimes. So being that I slow down, I was able to see all of it, and it was like sitting and. You know how you window shop?
Yeah.
You be like, ooh, that look good. Where'd they get that from? Like, dang, that cost that much? Yeah. So you window shopping. And I was seeing all of it happen in front of me like I was looking through a window.
Wow.
And I started laughing. I told Kev the next day, you won't believe what followed that phone call.
Man.
And we just, take it in and we try to figure out a way to encourage you guys out there
Yes, we do.
that this ain't a joke. This ain't something that just happened just because it happened. It's because we believe.
Man.
We believe.
Yeah.
We believe in God having influence over our life. And if you're struggling, if you're dealing with stuff, you need people to surround you
Absolutely, man.
that supports that. And that's what's going to uplift you out of that problem.
Yeah.
And if you sit back, it's going to be small, medium, and then it's going to get bigger.
Yeah.
And then you're going to turn around, you're going to help somebody else the next way.
Absolutely. That's good.
And that's the brotherhood. That's the circle of life, period,
Man.
involving God.
Yeah.
So it's not just, the brotherhood here, but it was a brotherhood to show me what we can do for others. So
Absolutely.
when we talk about male, female, we talk about young, old,
Absolutely.
this is not just a message for us. It's just a message in general when you're trying to hold on to it and do it yourself. And that's been me for years.
Yeah.
But to see me take a back seat for the first time and watch it, that's a huge win for the week.
That's dope, man.
Huge win for the week.
To give you a little context of Scripture, they that wait on the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount up. Mount up. Hey, man, sometimes, man, when you mount up, you leveled up while being humble. And in the midst of you leveling up by being humble, what happens is the Bible says that you soar like eagles. All through our humbleness, man. It's all through our humbleness. And God, He'll take us in our most sacred, vulnerable places. He'll structure us. He said, I know you waiting. I know that thing ain't happened yet. Just be patient. Trust me, they that wait on the Lord. While you wait, what's happening is he's renewing. He's giving you a surplus of renewal in your strength. I'm telling you, man, God is so good. And that's a teaching in itself. So as we go into our next segue, man, this is a fun segue for me. Yeah, man.
He get giggly over this.
Because I got to talk about it, man. In our recap. Hey, bro. We saw the All-Star game this weekend. Let's talk a little sports.
Try.
If I had sound effects, you know what my sound effects would be?
What's that?
Dun, 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 dun. Bruh, what was that? It was like a doink.
Well, hold on. First of all, appreciate Naptown holding us down for the All-Star weekend.
Hey, you know what?
You know, trashy weather, but you guys did an amazing job around the city. My big bro was out there. My sister was out there.
Hey, that's right. Wait a minute.
Yeah,
it was in your hometown.
Right, you know.
So you know what?
What's up?
Before I talk my trash, give a shout out to the city one more time
I'm
so they
telling
can
you,
hear it clear,
representing
man.
Naptown, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Hosting the All-Star weekend. We do a great job all the time. We got the combine there. We
Yeah.
got the Big Ten
You right.
championship, you know, basketball, football, you know.
Yeah.
We known for sports, you know what I mean?
Yes,
The
yes.
city's growing, the city's getting better.
Yes, it is.
Trying to push out all the crime and stuff, you know, around the, and everybody said they had a good time around town. There was so much to do.
Man.
So much to do. But that game though,
Back to your regularly scheduled. Man, that game was horrible, man. Let's start like this. I will say the highlight though is man watching Steph Curry, man, be the great shooter and the great showman that he was, man. I can't.
Dang, bro.
Was it Stephanie?
Dang. Oh, you
No,
this
I'm talking about the
three-point.
competition. I
Okay.
haven't got to the 3-point contest yet because we're going to talk about Dame. Dame made it his weekend. He was like, I don't care how trash y'all are. It's all about me. He won the 3-point contest. Then turn around. He out there shooting half-court shots, man, like his layups,
That's
man.
cheating, man. They-
The man. He might as well just go ahead and score
I'm always talking about
himself.
cheating because it just seemed impossible. He could sit in the seat and just throw it and make it. That's crazy.
Man, that dunk contest.
I didn't get to watch all of it. I seen the last
I
two.
did,
when I called you.
unfortunately.
The last two.
Unfortunately, I watched the entire thing.
Where's the real competitors in that?
That's all I want to know, man. What happened to just being a dog, man?
Where Blake Griffin at?
You know what, bro? Thank you, man. What happened to those guys? It's like, hey, I'm number one. I don't care who's number two. If you want it, come and get it.
Big facts.
Man, LeBron came down and he did a dunk, and everybody was like, "Oh my God, he's not 39 years old. He's not old."
I remember that one,
And
yeah.
guess what happened? They blew a whistle. He didn't come back in the game. He is 39 years old, man.
And when he came down, he was like, ah.
Yeah, he said, "Ooh, yeah, let me go ahead and sit down real quick and enjoy the
some Bengay on.
festivities." Can I get the big tube of Bengay and about 14 bags of ice, please?
Absolutely.
You know, so, but other than that, man, you know, I do give a shout out to these guys that perform on a high level. These guys are phenomenal athletes. And all I ask from a fan point of view, can we get the competitive things back, man? Please. And it's not just for the NBA. It's for you too, NFL.
Oh.
We're getting tired of the Pro Bowl. We're getting tired of all of this. We know
You didn't like
Patrick
the new?
Mahomes.
You didn't like the new Pro Bowl?
Man, it's too, how do I say this? Soft, for lack of better words.
Well, it's supposed to be.
I like the idea of the competition.
Yeah.
You know how they have different things that they do that they set up.
It's like gladiators all over.
But I was just gonna say, man, it was like American Gladiators.
Yeah.
You know, they might as well, you know, have a guy sitting up there with a gun shooting them as they go through.
The Nerf gun.
Yeah, you know,
Yeah.
bring Turbo back, man. Nitro. If we go do American Gladiator, those guys are probably pretty old by now. But it's amazing though, man. I don't want to ever discredit those guys can do a lot more than I can do.
Right.
You know, so but as a fan, give us a reason to enjoy. That's all we ask, man.
Yes, sir.
That's all we ask.
They're gonna come up with it soon or not. I think they just they trying to reserve themselves for the second half of the season.
I get it.
You know what I mean? And it's crazy to have it at the middle of the season.
Yeah.
You know, you have football at the end, baseball
I don't
at the
mind
end.
that though. I don't mind that because we're as fans, we're getting off the high of the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Because the Pro Bowl goes first, we're getting off the high of the Super Bowl. So the NBA says, okay, let's give you guys an All-Star before we start the second half, so you can get used to the entertainment part of basketball. Because this is like one of the worst times to be a fan of sports.
Yeah, it's slow.
It's so slow,
It's slow.
you know.
Yeah.
But we'll take whatever we get. I don't mind.
This what they should do, since they're gonna put women in the competition threes and all the different shooting things like that, and they're gonna play light like this on the court. Why not put at least 2 at a time in the game?
That'll
Man,
be cool, right
They
there.
shooting like Steph anyway.
But that's all they gonna do.
They shoot like Steph. Might as well just put them out there and let them hit from outside all
Man,
day.
So you trying to tell me? All right, let's look at it from
They're
the
not
other,
dunking, but-
let's look at it from the other point of view. You gonna put Angel Reese in the paint against somebody like Anthony Davis or
He's not
somebody
really,
like
he's not
Cat
even playing defense
or
anyway.
Giannis? You gonna put Angel Reese in that situation?
She can move out the way just like everybody else.
Man, look here. She gonna be like, I ain't going down there.
Okay, so now they pass him the ball in the
Uh-huh.
paint. She got to use her move, got to use a spin move or something and shoot it. And you think they really gonna go hard on that? No,
You never
might
know.
as well include them. So they're already talking about equal value, in the players and the finances.
Yeah.
I get it. It's a big topic on that, but at least bring more light to them.
Yeah.
By letting them participate, since you let them already participate in some of the competition,
Yeah.
go ahead, man. It's helping basketball as a whole.
As a whole.
Yeah, as a whole. So
entity.
I
And
don't see why
I'm all
it's
for
not.
those ladies getting
Yeah.
their pay, man. That's first and foremost. It don't ever have to be joined together, but pay those ladies.
Exactly.
Because they do something as a professional. And again, it's all entertainment.
It is.
It's entertainment. And those ladies do a great job at performing and bringing their type of energy on a high level, night in and night out.
And they train the same way. It's no different. If they
Man, it's
train
no
the same
different.
way,
Absolutely.
then
Absolutely.
just shine some light on them for a second. So
Yeah.
that's what I want to see. If you're
I
gonna
like
play
that.
light
I
in
like
the
that.
All-Star, might as well just go ahead and let them get some shine too.
I like that.
But we're gonna put some shine on my brother today. We're gonna put some more Armor All on him
Oh, man.
today. We started last week of telling his story. It was amazing, the responses we got just from that short period of time of the little clips we put out. But this week we're going to continue part 2 of his story. We want to dig deep into, becoming a man. Yeah. Becoming a man and really turning that corner, and a lot of different things transitioned during that time. So I'm not going to do all the touching up on it. I want him to get his story out because it's amazing. It's going to influence a lot of people out there, and it's your turn, man. Let's get it out. Let's let them know the truth.
Man.
The truth of care.
The truth. I like that, man. Well, I want to immediately just dive back into it, man, where I left off. I was transitioning from, of course, the young adult to somewhat, not young adult. I'll say teenager to a young adult. Let's do that.
Yeah.
Teenager to a young adult. And still dealing with a lot of those mental blocks that I was going through. Just teenager stuff, man, but also still dealing with things with my father, man, and things that were going on at home with my mom and my stepdad. Just dealing with life as a whole, living in the inner cities. I shared a story, man, about being a victim of violence. But that wasn't the only story. That wasn't the only thing that took place, man. That was just one of many. But that was such a vital time in my life. As I moved forward, I found myself a lot more available to the streets. And those friends, of course, we have friends that we grow up with. It all starts with just playing cops and robbers. It all starts with playing hide and go seek and all those fun games. But when the environment that we all grew up in and all of our parents or most of our parents or family members are dealing with drug abuse or some form of alcohol abuse, it leaves us in those moments to kind of fend for ourselves, right?
Yeah.
Now, those guys were getting involved in gangs, in the drug game, and these are the same guys I grew up with, so they're friends. I'm not looking at those guys like, oh yeah, man, them dudes are gang banging, and nah, them my boys, man. So you become affiliated with those type of people, and how the gang culture. Most people that are in gangs, man, never even joined the gang.
They just hung around it.
They just hung around it,
Hung
man.
around it. You didn't get it. You get really put through the ringer
Man,
on that.
yeah.
Yeah.
You know, so I looked like them because we were friends. So guess what happens? You're in rooms that you shouldn't be in rooms, but because we're friends, I'm invited into a room, or you're in situations that you didn't ask to be in. But guess what, man? It's a part of life, and it was a part of being a victim of your environment. So I would find myself going to school. I skipped school a lot, and I brought those same type of bad habits to a good school. Because, man, those guys used to pay good money. So I'm sneaking. My mama don't have a clue that I'm even doing anything out in the streets. At least I don't think she did. Because, man, I was real discreet. I'm real in between. Because I'm living with her, but I spent all of my weekends with my dad. So, man, I'm going to school and, serving. And, I'm an athlete, so I'm trying to play ball. But because I'm skipping school, trying to live this certain type of image, I didn't realize that stuff come back and haunt you, man, because they were keeping the records. Man, you missing this class, this class, this class. And then what do, man? I go to school. I used to go to school, to skip school, only to come back at the, lunchtime, right? And then after lunch, I skip again, doing whatever I was doing, and then I come back for football practice. Like, you really think that, all right, nobody's going to notice that you're not here? So we were at football practice and doing whatever, then I would repeat a lot of these things. So what ended up happening, man, is I got caught selling dope. And now I'm in high school. I'm in my freshman, sophomore year. In between that time, get caught with some drugs on me, man. And I got kicked out of school. And during this time, it was tough, man. It was tough, man. It was so tough because me and my mother, I think she was really trying to figure out how to parent me. So I get kicked out of school. They ended up figuring out a situation to where, okay, only way he can come to school, he can never come back to the high school, but he can go to an alternative program. And he would have to finish the remainder of his high school career in this alternative program. So, went before the board and because it was drugs involved, I had to go before, the legal stuff, the judge, and they kept stuff off of my record, but they all agreed that, yeah, he needs to be sent to an alternative school. Kids got more behavior issues. We can keep a good lookout on them and see how things go from there.
Right.
But after that, my mother turned to me, man. I never forget. She said, I can't do it no more. What you mean you can't do it no more? She said, I've given you everything I know how to give you. I said, okay, what does that mean? She said, get your stuff. You got to go. I said, man, hold up. Call my grandmama, man. My grandmama that was my baby, man. I love her. I miss her, man. So she was always on our side no matter what. She was always on her grandbaby's side. But my mom said, I've done everything I know how to do. It's on his daddy to step up and to figure it out now. It's his turn to be a father. Kind of felt like Trey from Boys in the Hood. I never really tripped off of it, but it was true. But the only thing is I didn't have a father like Furious Styles, like Trey did.
Yeah.
My daddy was a dope head, man. And my father lived with his father.
So you had 3 generations right there.
in one house. And not only was my father, my uncle used to be in and out, who was an alcoholic. He was in and out. So I'm like, you really finna kick me out to go live with a person that's a night walker and a dope fiend, which is my father. I loved him, but it was true. She closed the door on me. So I felt as if she chose my brother and my stepfather to be a family, and she no longer wanted me as a family. That's how I felt. So it just put more of a chip on my shoulder, bro. So I moved with my dad, and my dad was a streetwalker, man. He would be gone a days at a time. He never monitored me, and he never, looked up and seen where I was. So you know what that meant? I got more time to be out here in the streets. I'm a ladies' man. Look good. I smell good. I'm out here, man. I'm in situations that I probably shouldn't even been in.
Right.
So as life goes on, man, I'm finishing up. I have to finish school. I was so far behind, man, by the time my junior and senior year of high school came along that I had to go to night school, summer school, just to even get credits enough while going through this alternative program. But the thing about the alternative program, it was more so adults is what it felt like, man. Guys were in their 20s, man, in high school, finishing high school programs.
Full beards.
Yeah. It's like, it wasn't that type of, and true and all with people that were still young enough to go to high school, but they didn't monitor you like high school, regular high school. It was like, hey, it's on you to figure it out.
Right.
And once you reach a certain point, you're going to have to pay for this. So I was like, okay, let me at least get through high school. Let me finish that. So I did, man. I put my head down. I made sure I did everything I could do to finish high school, man. And it's crazy. As I was finishing high school, I started getting a liking for doing licks. That started, like, people were, and for those that don't know, a lick is when you would see somebody else and their goods, and you figure out a way how to take it. Whether if it was, I'm not incriminating myself, by the way. you would see stuff, that you wanted. It can be trucks. It can be all different kind of things. And I start entertaining that part of my life. But I've always been a smart guy, so I would figure out guys who I can send to get the maximum amount of, return without me reaping any type of the maximum amount of rest or what word am I looking for? Risk. I love that. That's wasn't the word I was looking for, but I'll take it. We'll grab it out the air. So man, I would set stuff up like that, man. And one of my reasons for really trying to channel my energy to helping younger people is I would take a lot of younger guys. I was young myself, but I would take those younger guys and put them in positions. And I felt so bad as I became an adult because, man, I could have influenced them to do anything, but I'm influencing them to do something wrong.
Right.
So it still, man, bothers me to this day. But this particular time, man, I never forget this moment. Hopped in a car with some guys, man. We're heading to go do something. I get another phone call from another friend, what we would consider a square, a L7. This guy, he used to wear his shirt tucked in, man. Me and him became friends through where my mother worked. She got me, a job, like stocking and stuff like that, just to keep my nose clean, right? And I met this guy through there. He was a clean-cut guy, great guy, man. He wasn't a street guy at all. But this particular time, I'm in the car with these guys, and we're about to go do some dirt. And he called me. I said, hey, what's going on, man? He said, hey, I need you to, double date with me real quick. I was like, all right, what she look like? He said, she fine, bro. Don't worry. It's going to be all good. I just need a double date. I'm trying to hit a home run on the side. So I was like, all right, cool. Let me alley-oop for my bro. So I said, hey, y'all, I'm going to get up with y'all later. They take me back around. I hop out the car with those guys. He pulls up. I hop right in the car with him. We go on this crazy mission. He lied. She was, oh my God.
I'm gonna give a shout out to my cousin Stephen. He set me up for blind dates.
Oh
One
man,
time,
so you feel my
horrible.
pain.
So I'm calling you out right now. Horrible.
Horrible, man. I was,
Horrible.
but I alley-oop for my bro. That was the biggest thing. I alley-oop for my bro. So, but me getting in that car saved my life. Because as soon as I got out of that car, those guys hit the corner and they went to do whatever they did, and that car ended up getting shot up, man. The guys inside of it got shot up as well.
Wow.
And that was God's way of giving me an opportunity at life, man.
No.
And a lot of these different things would happen, man. I would have run-ins with the cops, and they would pull me over, and I'll tell this story here, and then I'll move forward. I remember being on this dope set. I never used to ever try to be on anybody's dope set, because to me that was a red flag. You know, we can deal with each other in other ways. But this particular time, man, I'm sitting on the dope set, and dude was handing me some dope, man. I was like, okay, damn, right? You kind of out in the open. It was just a weird situation. And he ended up handing me some dope. And I questioned him about it. And he was like, hold on, let me go get another one for you and let's compare. I said, all right, cool. He walks off. I don't know why. I'm sitting there watching him. And all of a sudden, he get probably, a little ways down the street, and the dude break off and run. I'm looking like, did this dude just run? Where in the world? Where is he going? As soon as I noticed he ran, the cops pulled up. Woo, woo, woo. Put your hands up. I seen the transaction. I'm sitting there with my hands up, just like this. I got the doggone dope in my hand. I'm like, man, I got to call my mom. I'm about to go to jail, man. My hands is up, and they checking everything. They checking inside of my mouth, man. They pull my pants down, pulling my stuff out. They checking everything. They checking my pockets, checking all over the ground. They never checked this hand that the dope was sitting in. I didn't know how to hide it. I didn't have time to throw it. I didn't have time to swallow it. I didn't have time to do anything. This situation happened very close to that other situation when those guys got shot up. This was God's way, man, of getting my attention, man. And all of these things are happening, man, before I'm 18 years old.
That's fast.
Yeah.
So do you think being so close to that situation, the first situation, the second, had something to do with each other?
Yes. No. Let me answer that again. They had nothing to do with each other, but they did have something to do with each other.
There you go again with his Mr. Miyagi.
Yeah. Because, man, it was God's way of rattling my cage.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to go back. All of those traumas that I've shared up to this point on this show, man, God was omnipresent through the process. And I've been anointed to preach the gospel.
Did you know that back then?
I knew it since I was 10 years old.
But did you know it in that point? Did you
I
feel
knew
him?
it
Did
when
you
I
see
was
it?
10 years old. At the same time, God said, I'm anointing you. I've anointed you to be the head and not the tail. I've anointed you to preach my word. Was the same time the enemy had an invitation. And that was the same time that the devil came in and said, I'm snatching him out of your hands. But boy, if you know God, the enemy can't snatch nothing out of God's hand. And God is showing me in these moments that he can pluck at you, but he can't snatch you out of my hands. I don't know, bruh. I don't know. Hold on, Lord. I hear you. I don't know who that word is for. It doesn't matter what you've been through. It doesn't matter how far you've gone. If it feels like you on a whirlwind, my pastor would say this, you're just on a potter's wheel. He's molding you, man. And those situations, they don't dictate. They don't dictate who you are, and they don't dictate who God says you are. because God has a plan. And his plan, Holy Ghost say, is to prosper you. His plan is to put you in position to be used for his glory.
Yes, sir.
So all of these stories is never for you to look sad and look at me like, poor him, woe is him. Because all of these stories has built a resistance in my relationship that the enemy thought we had together.
Let's go.
God is to be glorified.
Let's go.
And we're going to continue to give him the glory.
Sir, yes,
I'm going to share this story here also. Then I'm going to go into my adult life, because I really believe men need to feel a lot of what happened, man, as an adult, man. I was 18 years old. This is all, again, right around me getting out of high school, graduating. And it was crazy, man. All of these situations, guys, he's trying to get a hold of me. And I leave a young lady's house. I'm heading to my mother's house. You know, it's late at night. Whenever it was late at night, I didn't trust anybody in the neighborhood, so I'd never pull up, you know, after a certain time, because I didn't want to be a lick for somebody else, because guys were schemers. They were always scheming. So I was leaving a young lady's house, and I go to the gas station, and I used to have a habit of turning my headlights off and my park lights on. So I pump my gas. I'm high and tripping, man. I'm smoking so much, man. I'm high and tripping. Smoking out my mind. I pull off the gas station lot, and I'm driving. The police is coming in the opposite direction. He flashes his headlights at me. I'm like, I'm high and tripping, bro. What is he flashing his headlights at me for? I'm looking in the mirrors at him, and I hit a stop sign. Boom. I ran over the stop sign. This cop hits a U-turn. I took him on a high-speed chase. I went throughout neighborhoods, main streets, highways, and it ended. The high-speed chase ended in a residential area. My car cut off. So I heard my car cutting off. I'm like, I know I just put some gas in it. Why is my car cutting off? So as it's cutting off, it's coming to a halt. And before it came to a complete stop, I hop out. And when I hop out, my car hit a house. Pow! Bounced off the house and hit a tree. By now, I done hit. I'm on foot. Getting it. They ain't gonna catch me, man. I had some 4.5 speed. I ain't gonna call it a 4.3 speed. I had about I was one of them. We out. I'm getting it, man. I'm running. Took this thing, man, from a high-speed chase to a foot chase. You're going to have to catch me. So I'm running. And this guy, the cop, he started chasing after me. I started gaining so much of a lead on him. I turned back, and I look over my shoulder, and he pulled his gun out. And now he stopped running, and he has his gun drawn. I see that he has his gun drawn, so I started running in a zigzag. Like, oh, no, you ain't finna get no clear shot. If you're going to shoot, you're going to have to figure out how to be, Dirty Harry or somebody. You're going to have to get a good shot off. So as I'm running, I'm like, oh, no, this dude trying to kill me, man. So I'm running, and as I'm running and looking over my shoulder, I fall into a manhole. I say, oh, wait a minute. So as I fall into this manhole, I'm climbing out this manhole. And as soon as I climb out the manhole, I see him hoist his gun, and he just started back running. So I hops up out the manhole. Boom, take off. I'm getting it again. So similar situation. I'm looking over my shoulder because now I'm paranoid that he already pulled his gun out. So I'm looking over my shoulder. Man, I fall into another manhole.
Where you at? Where you just got manholes?
Man, it was an open field
it's like
that they used to be. I don't know if it was a cemetery. Or I don't know what it was. It was an open field, and they were building something in this area.
Okay.
So it had like concrete and all different kind of things around it, but it was a bunch of manholes.
Hey, it was like he was. On
And it was like
Tunes.
it's like 2:30 in the morning, so it's pitch black in this huge open space. So I fall into this manhole and I hear a voice say, "Stay down." I'm like, "Stay down." It's just me and this fat dude chasing me. I hop out the manhole, and he tackled me. Boom. Now it's a fight. We sitting there fighting. You know, he hitting me, I'm hitting him, we fighting. He pulls his gun out, and I grab the barrel of his gun. And I'm trying to snatch it out of his hand. And in the midst of me trying to snatch it out of his hand, 2 other cops came and grabbed him and tackled him off of me. And he said, pardon my French, I'm going to kill this nigga. I'm killing this nigga tonight. So they began to take him off of me, and I'm trying to rise up, and 2 more cops tackle me. They handcuff me, put me in a police car, and they roughed me up, man. They roughed me up. And I never forget, man. I had cornrows at the time. I had just picked my hair out, so it was at a fro, and my hair was smashed all up. It was mud all in my head, all on my face. And man, they hit me with a lot of charges, man. A lot of charges, man. Some misdemeanor charges, felony charges. It was just so many charges, man.
Wow.
From of course, resisting arrest, reckless endangerment. Man, just to remember, so it was assaulting an officer. Man, they threw a lot of charges at me.
Yeah.
18 years old. Just graduated high school, and I'm probably gonna spend some years in jail. So most people ask the question, why was you running? Because they said, why did you run? Up to this point, man, I didn't have nothing major on my driving record or on my license or anything. I didn't have much going on.
You panicked?
I didn't panic. Thought I had dope on me. Because that was the route I would take if I had dope. So in my mind, I thought I had dope, and I was just trying to transport it, because I never would transport it in certain places. I would always, I had certain routes. And this particular time, I didn't have nothing. And the reason he flashed his lights at me, I forgot to turn my headlights back on when I left the gas station.
Wow.
That was an easy. Turn your headlights on, man. Get home. And it turned into something major. And in the midst of all this, man, I'm facing these charges, man, and, trying to keep my nose clean and figure out life. My uncle pull up on me, tell me to hop in his car. Hopped in with him. He took me out. We just drove and talked. He pulled up at his job. He said, I'm not going to give you no hard stories. I can only tell you where I come from, and I can only help you for where I'm going. He said, come on. We got out the car, and he walked me into the office of his supervisor. He said, my nephew need a job. And they hired me on the spot.
While facing charges.
While facing charges. He said, this will help keep your image clean, and this will help you get out the streets so you can get some legal money. And this particular job, man, it's a trash job, man. It's like, man, I don't be no trash, man, dude. He was like, I don't care what you want to be. This is what you need to be. You need to clean yourself up. So I did just that, man. I became a trash man. And, man, I started seeing those checks, man. I was like, man, I'm nickel and diming out here on the block. And here it is, man. I'm getting thousands of dollars a week. The legal way. I ain't got to look over my shoulder. I said, oh, man. So I started to learn a work ethic, a real work ethic. And through that work ethic, man, I was too young to get my CDL license, so I had a CDL permit. And it was crazy. I started meeting so many guys that were licensed guys, and what they would do, the guys they would hire who had license, they would put them with me because I was so smart and I knew how to, get through a majority of the routes. So they would put the new guys with me. So this particular time, man, I meet this guy. He comes with me, man. This dude got golds in his mouth. And here I am, man. I picture this dude. This is so crazy. This is me throwing trash, man. I used to be out there with a wife beater on, some basketball shorts, 2 big old earrings in my ear, and some Jordans, throwing trash. Who did I think I was, man? I thought I was an N1 or something. So I would have, I wanted to look good, man. I looked like, you know, I didn't have really no bills, man. So I wore it. I wanted to look the part. I didn't want to look like no trash, man. Steel toe boots and, you know, stinky clothes. And now I'm finna be fly. If I'm gonna do it, we gonna do it. So I get this guy. He comes with me, man. And I see, you know, he got goals in his mouth. I see a big, tall guy, man. And looking at him, I'm like, okay, yeah, come on, we're finna go out here. And I used to be known as they used to call me the helper killer. So I had a real old truck, right? So I would hop in the trucks and I would run these guys because I was young. I'm 19 now, right? I'm young. I would run these guys down until they quit. So they called me the helper killer. So I was turning them up. So anyway, this particular guy wouldn't quit. He hung on. He stayed. So we ended up becoming cool. I started going through this thing, man, with my girlfriend. She got pregnant right at this time, man. We were when I was 18 when I started the job. She got pregnant, and she ended up losing that baby. She almost lost her life. Also, she flatlined the baby. It was a tubal pregnancy, and they had to get the baby out. In the midst of them getting the baby out, the tube bursted, and she ended up flatlining, and they had to resuscitate her, all those things, and they ended up bringing her back to life. And here I am going through these charges, and my main girl here is going through, and she loses our baby. And she told me, she was like, I got to move on. I got to go figure out life because the doctors told her she couldn't have kids. So she went her own way. I went my own way. So I'm going through in my relationships, man.
That's a trauma right there.
Man, so much trauma. So much trauma. I really can stay there.
Yeah.
I really can. You know, but I'll say this much, man. When we separated, we chose to go our separate ways. That's why, you know, I chose to dress the way I did. I started, you know, messing with so many girls on my route. Had girls on every other street. And this guy with the golds never would entertain the girls on the street. He would sit there and he would just look at me and just shake his head like, all right, God. Like, kind of dude weird or something. I'm like, bro, she got a cousin. He like, nah. All right, God. I'm like, what is the all right, God stuff, man? So we go on the route one day, man. I used to have some speakers in my trash truck, man. So I'm blasting my rap music. I'm driving down the street. I'm getting it, you know. So the music blast. I mean, man, we probably some Cash Money or something crazy. And I'm blasting my music. And every time I hopped out my truck, my work truck, he hopped in the truck and he would change the station. But he would change the gospel music. I'm like, man, what's wrong with this dude, man? So, man, I cussed him out, man. Don't you ever change the black man's radio station, boy. Man, so he kept doing it, though. He kept changing the station. And this last time, I'll never forget, man. He hopped in and he changed the radio station. And it was a song, I Told the Storm. And the words to that song, I'm getting chills just thinking about it, that moment, man, began to penetrate my heart. And in the heat of the summer, the nastiest, stinkiest trash in a nasty trash truck, God came to see about me. He let me know in that moment that he been there the whole time. And I had a spiritual encounter with God, man. I couldn't stop crying. I'm worshiping, man. I've never worshiped God like that a day in my life. God really came to see about me, bro. And I look outside, and that light-skinned dude with the gold teeth in his mouth, He out there running down the street worshiping God like, you finally got him. You finally got a hold of him. That boy was hard-headed. Thank you, God. He worshiping God because he knew what was going on. He was put there as a vessel. I didn't think that God can come in my life, man, because I felt like that if God was going to come in my life, he would have already came. And since he hadn't already came, that church stuff that my mama and them was talking about, it wasn't for me. But it ended up being for me. My mama prayers, my grandmother prayers, they was for me, bro. So, man, I started to change my life, man. Took the earrings out. Took one of them out. Still was a little fly. But God started changing my heart, man. In the midst of him changing my heart, I got a phone call. And on this phone call, it's a pretty voice. I said, who is this? It was that girl who left me. She called me and told me she was 7 months pregnant with my son. I said, but last time I seen you, last time I talked, you told me that you wanted to live your life. And we both was in the room when the doctor came in and said that you couldn't have kids. So how are you 7 months pregnant? I said, nah, you need to pull up on me. Why now?
Yeah, that's my
I'm changing my life, man. Why now? Why did... She did. She pulled up on me, man. True enough, she was 7 months pregnant with my son. But what she didn't tell me is that she also had another guy that believed that was his son. That part. And I found out later, man, and I didn't get a chance to see my son born. Well, who I thought was my son. So I'm like, God, I thought you said, man, if I believed in you, if I trust you, that you would change all this stuff for me. I ended up getting a paternity test, man, and it's 99.9% my son, man.
Great feeling. But
Man.
what about the men? I'm gonna harp on this. What about the men that is the other guy? They face that. You know, I got brothers that been through that.
Yeah.
And that becomes a trauma to them to learn that the person might not have stepped out on them or anything like that, but started a journey with them and then turned to find out their joy is not their joy together.
He knew it wasn't. He was controlling. He was an aggressive and abusive guy towards her. And he wouldn't touch her. He just wanted to control. He knew it wasn't his son. He hadn't touched her. And he wanted her to turn her back on me. And man, oh my God, I think that particular relationship we'll have to visit because she's my baby mama now. And man, there's so much that's tied to that story. She's she's my wife now, man.
Amen to that.
But we have a really, really story that I have to share with men on a later segment, man, about our relationship. But to go further, man, God is dealing with me, man, and I meet a lot of great men. And they begin to pour into me.
Who's that?
I'm going to drop some names, man. You know, first name being Reginald Foreman.
Who? Y'all meet this guy, man.
That's my brother, man. I love him, man.
He's powerful. Very
That's my
powerful.
brother. And one of the biggest people, man, that was an inspiration to me, man, Gustova Hinton. He was that guy with the gold teeth that witnessed God change my heart and change my life. And he was there, man, and he hand-fed me the word of God. And he also brought me around the greatest man I ever known in my life, Bishop Arthur Kelly. The greatest man I ever known in my life. And another one of my brothers, man, Brian Poole. Man, Poole, man, he, for real life, drill sergeant. Personal trainer, anal. He gonna tell you how it is. He don't care about your feelings. He still do it to this day. He still big brother me to this day. And one unsung hero who wasn't a close brother, but he poured into my life, man, and taught me how to manage my money. And taught me how to put money in my 401k and how to put investments to the side and how to buy a house and cars. And that's Otis Woods, man, O-Dog. Man, so many other guys, man. Man, I can really just start name dropping some dudes, man, but I don't want to forget, no other key people, man. AJ Hicks, man, Brian, look, my little brother, Brian Turner, great dude, man. Hey, man, it's a lot of great men that's helped me along the way. But we created years ago, 20 years ago, we created Men of Accountability, MOA. And to let y'all know, man, Men's Truth really started 20 years ago.
The brotherhood.
So it's been coming to life now. And it started by those men I just named taking time out to deposit things in me, pouring into me, being the guy that they needed to be for me, man. And I'm forever grateful for that, bro. Forever grateful. So as life goes on, man, my dad and our relationship got a little better. And I remember I was about 24, 25. He stopped doing drugs, cold turkey. I was so proud of him, man. Man, I was so proud of him. I said, there you go. And he would call me every day, but he used to wear the heck out of me. And I'm like, bro, I got to go to work, man. What you want? He's like, I ain't doing nothing, drinking some coffee. He's the reason I love cigars, man. He got me into cigars. And he would tell me, man, I'm just sitting here smoking a cigar, drinking some coffee. And, man, I won't stay here long on this subject, man, but he ended up almost not even a year, man. He got a little sick and ended up having a massive heart attack and died. I later found out it was because of withdrawal. Man, I was so mad at God, man. So mad at God, man. I turned my back on him. Turned my back on God, man. Like, how could you kill my daddy, man? He was trying to change. I'm going through in my marriage. And then I lose everything for the first time. I lost it all. So it's like, man, this God stuff, man, I thought it was the works. I thought as long as I put the work in, that God was going to look out for me.
Yeah.
But it ain't about the works, man. I remember going to the man who I talked about was the greatest man I ever known, man, Bishop Kelly. And I shared with him, I said, man, I'm hurt. I said, my daddy dead. So I'm going through with my wife. I don't know what to do. And he set me down. I used to be his armor bearer, man. He set me down. He said, your family is your first ministry. I want you to focus on your family. Man, I took that like a whip to the face, man. It's like, that ain't the answer I was looking for.
Right.
As a matter of fact, forget you and forget this church. And forget this church stuff.
Wow.
And I turned my back on him and I turned my back on the church and it was like I'm out. At the time, man, my wife she was in the clubs, man. I used to go to church and she would be coming in from the club. And we got 3 babies now. I would get off work, she would be handing me the kids. I'm like, this ain't it, man. This can't be life, bro. This can't be life. This can't be it. But when he set me down, he took the one thing that I felt like that I had and I was good at. But he didn't take nothing. He was trying to teach me something. I didn't understand it, bro. Didn't get it. Man, so I ran from God, man. And man, it's that prodigal son message, man, for all of you men out there, man, that run from God. I gotta encourage you, man, because I can't get emotional thinking about it, man. God ain't changed his mind about you, bro. God ain't changed his mind. He meant what he said. He got great things for you to do. So even though you fell away, even though you ran away, even though you changed your mind about God, God ain't changed his mind about you, man. So in the midst of me falling away, I moved to Texas, a whole nother state. And God shows himself to me again, bro. Man, I thought I could chase money. I thought I could chase all of the success. And I ended up losing it all, man. Had 6 figures. All those things that I saw validation and I saw value in, I lost it all. And man, in the midst of me losing it all, my mother got sick, man. And man, when she got sick, I never seen her that week. But let me go before then. My mom ended up moving to Texas a year prior to her getting sick. I gotta slow down on this part. And man, we had a very, very fractured relationship. And man, I'll never forget, she allowed me to pour my heart out and tell her how I really felt about her. Cussing and all, man. She took it on the chin, bro. She took it on the chin. In that moment, man, God allowed me to see that she only did what she knew how to do. She only was able to give me what she knew how to give me. And that she was right there the whole way. And man, we became best friends after that. Only to go back to what I just said. A year later, she got sick. She caught COVID. She had a lung disease, similar disease that Bernie Mac had. And this lung disease, man, she caught COVID, man, and for a month, I saw my friend, the strongest person I know, bro. I saw her dying right in front of me. And man, I prayed for God's healing, did all the things that you know how to do, man. Only for her to get to that point where she would just look at me with the little bit of oxygen she had. She was like, "I'm sorry, Sonny. I'm sorry for everything, but I believe in you." In her darkest moments, she took time to tell me she believed in me. She believed in me, bro. And I seen her die, bro. It was the toughest thing I've ever had to witness. The strongest person I know, bro. But she was physically gone, man, but man, her spirit lives on, man. And one thing she said, "You're a great man, and you're an even better father. And God is going to use you to touched so many people. She might have saw this. I didn't. I didn't, man. I went through a real dark, deep depression. Because all I wanted to know is why? Why? Why, God? And man, I think that's a perfect place, man,
They want to know this, though.
to close it out, because I'm going to go into that why. It's not the why, man. And I'm starting to get that. We all want to know why God allows things to happen, why pain and trauma, and throughout my whole story, man, and there's so much more that I have to offer and to give, man, within my story. But the why, it's not really why. It's why not. Why not you? God allowed, I get the chills, bro. God allowed me to see a long time ago, man, that, boy, I trust you to go through some things. You know why I trust you to go through some stuff? Because you're going to walk out that testimony and you're going to tell people how to be encouraged. You're going to tell people how in your darkest moments that you found me, only to realize that me, God, I've been there the whole time, man. I had an amazing phone call before we started this, man. I was really dealing with talking about my mother, man, and I had some encouragement from a new mama, Mama Graham. She encouraged me, man, and she said, tell a story about her with a smile on your face. And I feel it. I feel the joy of it. Because, man, my mama is so proud of me, man. And from the very beginning, when I was anointed as a kid, through all of the hell, the chaos, and the trauma, even now, man, still figuring out, you know, my kids, pointing my kids in the right situations of their journeys in their lives, becoming a better husband, me and my wife growing together in God, man, were all the prayers of a righteous woman. I don't know who's grieving right now, man. I don't know who's dealing with a loss and you don't know how, man. You don't know how to get through. It is a time for grief. It is. But through your grief, it's triumph. And I want to give you some love and a virtual hug. And just tell you, man, it's going to be all right. It's going to be greatness that's going to come from this situation, from your grief. Also, the person that's fatherless and motherless. God, he's a present help, man. And he says in his word that he's mother to the motherless, and he's father to the fatherless. Take time out to get to know him, man. You won't be disappointed. Just know, man, I'm here. I'm a living testimony. I'm a walking testimony. I'm still walking out some tests, and I'm heading to my testimony. We overcomers, man.
Absolutely.
Mom, I miss you. I love you. My dad, I miss you. I love you. My grandmother, I miss and I love you. Watch me shine and give God glory. I'll pass it back to you, bro. I feel like I've been talking long enough, man.
Man, I'm emotional over here, man. I've been out this morning. I got the chance to meet Kev after he lost his mother, and he's been pouring in me every day. I've been going through my grief, and just to have somebody like this dude So I shared this morning my mother
Yeah.
with Kev. She means the world to me. She's been a mother to many dudes, homeless, without parents, mother or father.
Yeah.
And if he can pour into me, I can share my love with my mother with you. And I didn't know where it came from. All this love and consistency of being there and support for me through my grief that I'm dealing with. But this is what we start this for, man.
Yeah.
This is what we start this for. And, every day I can't thank him enough. And your mother was right. Your mother was right that you are great. And you bring out the greatness in me and other people and strangers. And to see people cry in your arms and they don't know you, that's special.
Yeah.
That's special. So we end this note, this man's truth is heartful, warm, and love that we try to give on the show.
Yeah.
But most importantly, be encouraged that you can overcome it. You got people like us that can be there for you. And we're going to keep encouraging each other and grow because we know times is tough. But we know times is tough. And as long as you sit by yourself, it's going to even be tougher. So be encouraged that God is watching you the whole time,
man.
that you are special, that you are loved, that you are somebody great inside.
That's good, man.
You wouldn't be put on this earth just to crumble. And we won't let that enemy win no more from here on out. So we thank y'all for tuning in. We love y'all. Most Kev, thank you for your story today, big bro.
Yeah.
I love you, man. It's amazing seeing you come through that. And I witnessed it in my own life coming through that. We grew up in a war zone early.
Man.
And look at us now. Shout out to my big bro, Dante, reached out to me. And he told me, I'm so happy my little bro's making it. You are a hood statistic of the ones that made it.
Yeah.
And you are too.
Yeah. Appreciate
You
that,
are
man.
too. So give it up for Man's Truth.
Yeah, man.
Man, and until next time, tune in.
Hey, before we go, I want to end this with one song for y'all, man. My song is the reason why I'm smiling. And it just really hit me, man, because it speaks so heavy. And I won't go no further into talking about it, man, because I just want you to go listen to it. After this, as soon as this go off, go and find this song, and I'll post it for those that follow us on our social media platforms. Kirk Franklin, I Smile.
Ooh.
Smile on somebody. Smile with purpose. Like my brother say, this is Men's Truth. I'm Kev.
Big Chris, a.k.a. Brick, appreciate you.
We appreciate you. God bless y'all.
God bless.
Sir.